And we are back. It's the Corsair Cup semifinals, spawning in the bottom right side. It is going to be none other than the teal Zerg player, Tefel.
In the top left, as the red Zerg, it is Liquid Snute.
All right, so Snute looked fantastic versus Hydra, and you almost have to ask, like, if Snute can beat Hydra, can Tefel even stand a chance? And I would say just like even without that Hydra match factored into it, I still favor Snute in the series. But again, the context needs to be made that Snute's ZvZ has been questionable. The fact that he's going up against a laser in the finals is certainly scary for him if he wins this. Because Snute, like a laser is Snute's kryptonite.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I thought that maybe Tails could do it against a laser. It said he lost to Billowy. So maybe a laser's EVP isn't looking so hot, but now that it's ZvZ, no matter what, I think a laser's looking pretty good to get that $70 prize now. Hey. And,
yeah.
We'll see.
First place being updated just a bit there with that fourth place being tacked on. Of course, we made sure to let all the players know so that there's no, oh, surprise $10.
I mean,
okay.
like yesterday, when I instructed, Billowy, yeah, we just talked about him.
Oh, Billowy was so surprised.
Yeah. He was like, wait, why? 170 or something, whatever it was. And I was like, they donated. And he was like, oh.
Yeah, for those who missed it, we had the Match Reno tournament yesterday, which we end up, it's like a $100 base prize pool. Like that much is guaranteed to pay out no matter what. But what ends up happening is we leave it open so people can donate more. So, for example, we went from $100 to $912. Again, half of that almost coming from one person alone, but we had some people sneak in, like Chase SC threw in like $100 at the very end. We had like a couple of $12 to $10 donations here and there. It was pretty cool. So Billowy, who was expecting to get $20 out of that tournament, ended up getting 150 something, and he was messaging me as well, going like, "What the fuck? Is this right?"
Yeah, that's always a nice surprise. I'm just glad we actually were able to get him the money. I was really afraid the English won't be so good because Mantrino is not yet expanded to like, different languages, and it does need a Twitch account to sign in. Yeah. Oh well, everything worked out.
Yeah. Of course, for today, the prize pool is provided by Corsair, and big love to them because without them, we wouldn't be able to make this happen. Giving us 4 cups a month. It's good stuff to see.
I mean, actually, bringing it all together, Corsair and Matrino will be helping out with the Only Watch tournament, so
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Actually, we got a lot of big stuff coming up. Basically, as soon as DreamHack finishes, we're going to be hopping into like Ting Season 2. We got the Yord tournament to run. We got a lot of really good stuff on deck for StarCraft 2. And I mean, when we shout out our sponsors, guys, it's not like, guys, please buy from them or they're going to drop us. Like, we beg you to spend your money. But it's that awesome fact that they do support us in such big ways. We can't help but give them some love.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the Ling Scouts, not a lot to be revealed. Snute does see the third base of Tefel with his own Overlord, though, and he's not exactly gearing up for anything too dangerous. I mean, he's still drowning. We don't have an influx of Lings. Ling timings have certainly changed, too, because it used to be you would watch, like, that 5-minute, 30-second mark and see if drones got cut back in hot. So you'd be like, okay, good. Now I know exactly when that Ling all-in's coming. There is no hard, concrete time now in Legacy of the Void. With the economies being so different, we've seen differences of, like, drone cuts at 3 minutes. We've seen drone cuts at 4 minutes, and some at 2.5. So I still don't know what everyone's favorite number is outside of the 1414, but it does look like Snute, sticking on those drones for as long as possible, does decide he's not investing too heavily into Lings, but more so Roaches.
Well, who is investing in Lings is Tefel. Tefel gets an okay amount, not amazing, not so absurd.
He started Burrow for a moment there. I wasn't sure if that was intentional or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that was odd. He is, however, still droning and going into Roaches, so these Lings are just going to be, I guess, poking and checking and making sure that Snute also has to make his own set of Lings to defend against this, because you don't want to be losing thirds at this time. Snute is already quite far behind. But they're on even drones, and honestly, like at this point, it's like, half a hatchery times difference is not going to be that bad. A full hatchery difference might be, and that's where these Banelings are trying to come in and help save the day. But it's going to be Roaches versus Roaches. And I guess we're going to see Frozen Temple in a macro game, which, again, these are new maps. They've only been out for, I guess, now a week, just about. But they, it's still... Surprisingly, we've been lucky not getting all ZvZs every tournament these last 3 days. This one looks more akin to the ones we've been having the last few weeks. But this is going to be, I think, the first time we see a macro ZvZ on this map. Well, maybe not. Tefel does go for 15 Roaches.
He does get these Lings to the main as well. That Queen's not in position, so drones have to get pulled in order to try and save her life, but I don't think it's even going to save her life. Little bit awkward for Snute as roaches are on the way, but not quite here yet. A queen going down, though, certainly better than losing a bunch of workers. You can rebuild that, and Snute does start that up right away. It looks like the Baneling hit. Sorry, I just barely missed that.
Yeah. Wasn't too many Banelings to take down. It's not a big deal. It is more about these roaches and the lingering reinforcements with these roaches. A Frozen Temple, not a big map, not a really small map. It is pretty medium. You're going to get from one kind of third location to another third location, just basically ramp to ramp here. Snute would have wanted to take a concave on top, especially if he had Ravagers, it would have been nice, but unfortunately he was not ready. His army is mostly still in his natural, which means his third is going to be under attack already, and this is a very bad start for Snute. Tefel can't just, A-click on that. He does have to take the fight to try to. Snoot's going to depend on a couple Banelings, too. Oh, dear God.
Oh, those Banelings can get some really sick splash damage on these roaches, though, and they tear them to shreds. Tefel still got more roaches for the time being, but this does question, does Defender's Advantage work? 13 roaches are about to pop for Snute. Of course, if they come out one at a time, it's not going to work out well for him. The Baneling's also going to find its way to that mineral line. Goes for the larva instead. Not a bad choice, actually. But Tefel's army has been whittled down hard enough that I think Snute, with some focus fire, could finish off a couple of these roaches. In fact, that's exactly what he's trying to do. It looks like he will hold on to this position. Comes out of this with 5 extra workers over his opponent. Isn't too bad.
Right. This was not... It looked very scary, for sure, but he's not 5 drones up. He's only 6 army supply down, and more importantly, he saved the third, and even saved the drones the third, too. I think they went off to the right side and came back. He lost the Queen, which he's replacing now, so his Larva Injects aren't as good as Tefel's, but once again, Defender's Advantage should be kicking in here. Get those Queens on the front lines as well. Just a single Ravager to help out, and a handful of Lings do a surprising job helping out. I mean, no one going for upgrades yet, no one going for a lair. And he's just gonna GG.
Yeah, I mean, Snute did hold that really well, and that one Ravager you kind of bring up as like a bit of a, it's just one Ravager, but it's actually fantastic. It's faster, it's got longer range, and it's got the Corrosive Bile. I mean, Snute held that really, really well. So Snute's ZvZ definitely still looking pretty good here. We'll see how this goes for game 2. We're going to squeeze in a small commercial break. We'll get into lobby, though, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a minute. All right, back from the ads, and we hop directly into Arena. I got to give some love to Way of the Silent for the 11-month resub. Thank you for kicking off game number 2 in such a wonderful manner. But it is, of course, a best of 3 here in the semifinals. Winner will go on to play against a Laser in the grand finals, which will be a best of 5. But spawning here in the top left side of Arena, we've got the light blue Zerg, Tefel.
In the bottom left, as the red Zerg, it's Liquid Snute.
So Snute held that really well. He played that game pretty much exactly how you'd hope he would. It was pretty close, though. I mean, there was a small moment when Tefel's attack hit initially that made it look like, oh, this might just work. So, okay, maybe it didn't work on Frozen Temple, but the same tactics could be applied here on Arena, a much shorter rush distance map, an easier spot to reinforce. We could certainly see him hurt Snute, possibly with the same tactics.
Mm-hmm. Possibly. This is Arena, and any early pools are actually not, like, they're kind of figured out. This is, of course, one of the old maps, and even though it was the one that was chosen maybe the least amount, people did figure it out. So if they early pooled, you could go for a gasless defense and actually do pretty well with just queens. Even if they don't early pool, you can still go for a gasless defense, which it looks like Snute is setting up for. Tefel did bother to get the gas, and very often in this matchup on this map, we see Speedlings versus Roaches. And you'd think that Roaches would always win, but not necessarily. With the choke and whatnot, sometimes the Speedlings get around and do just enough damage. That's kind of going to be like up to Tefel to do here. Really feel like it's on him, because without that gas, Snute can get quite a few extra drones snuck in there. Yeah,
that's where I really find Snute's strengths play well. We've talked about it many times on the cast, but just to bring it up one more, how the best Zerg players are the ones that can figure out where you can squeeze in drones. Sometimes you see players get greedy / lucky, but that doesn't make them a great player. Snute consistently can always find where he can squeeze in like one drone here and there. Instead of making 7 lings, he'll make 6 with a drone. Like, he's pretty good about that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, too quick on the drone transfer. The tiniest little bit. There you go.
Devastated. Look at that income graph.
I know.
God, Tefel is just going to win this game now.
164 minerals up now. Oh, dear God.
Of course, Snute will get a little bit better for mining, because you do need to spread out the drones. 16 on one base is nice, but putting the other ones elsewhere is better. 25 workers and 24 workers apiece. Tefel's still droning up, so is Snute, so no one's really cut workers just yet. And in fact, Tefel's going to reach over for a third base.
I do like this approach better. I mean, every single time we see the roaches versus lings, I mean, not every single time, but a lot of the time, the roaches do end up winning, or it gets to a point where the roaches were going to be the standard anyway, as most ZvZs do, and the person who went from initially and got that bigger boost of economy is the one that wins. By just like not bothering with lings, despite getting ling speed, using what could have been 15, 20 lings to get a third base. I mean, that's pretty smart too. It is such a short map that even though you know Snoot's going for a gasless expand and waiting on roaches, which are usually very slow, they could maybe go across the map and try and cancel that. But that's where Tefel's own Roachborn comes in. And they're just going to match each other.
So the Spine Crawler, it's funny, right? Like, Spine Crawlers nowadays, I guess, are technically more affordable than in the past, what with the economy being so ramped up. But to put a Spine Crawler down is still expensive. But in doing so, you guarantee a lot more safety. Snute going for straight to roaches wasn't going to have banelings to trade out, and he's going to have to use queens and whatnot to make sure that that didn't get out of hand. I mean, it's not necessary as we're seeing right now, but it's still just a nice little thing to have if you can afford to squeeze it out.
Yeah. And, you know, he did have a bit of a drone lead despite getting that Spine Crawler. It's gone now. It's very, very slight. But the game continues. Third base for third base. Upgrade for almost upgrades. A little late in that evolution chamber. And I guess it's going to be just wait until Roaches and Ravagers get set up. They'll probably not be going through the bridge again. One of them should be breaking down the rocks as they get to that point where they're making nothing but army. Not quite there yet, you know, 50, 55 drones. I mean, if this was Dusk Towers, because we talk about mutas, but Arena, I'm not so sure about a muta transition.
I mean, mutas almost seem like the go-to with the smaller rush distances, but yeah, you don't see them really. Gotta give a shout out to Alpha Kenny Anybody, by the way. It's always nice to get nice comments in chat. It says, just want to say that BaseTradeTV has really improved. You guys have come a long way, and all I wish is for you guys to know that I exist. So thank you. Alpha Kenny Anybody, Senpai has noticed you, and thank you for the nice comment.
Senpai.
Stupid. I didn't like you anyways.
That's my line.
Oh my god, can you imagine trying to cast the whole game like that?
Were you there? No, I don't think you were there. We had the dumbest conversation. Because there's a bunch of different Deres. Yandere, Cindere, I can't remember the other ones.
Like 2 of them, got it, alright.
Well, there's at least 6.
Sure.
What we had to do was we brought up like a page on DeviantArt, I believe, that had the description of each different type, and then we were trying to figure out who was who. And I was Cindere, which is very obvious. And then I think maybe Olivia might be Yandere, which I believe is the one that's like secretly crazy.
Yeah, no, without a question, without a doubt in my mind.
And then Fear Dragon was the super shy one that's like pure of heart or whatever. I was like, yep, that's Fear Dragon.
I would just be the guy that has y'all around me in the harem. Like
Oh, of course, of course.
Man, I actually it's so weird to me that you know, people make jokes about like weeaboos and anime culture and all that, but it's really such a big part of everything.
Yeah, of course it is. Okay, the weeaboos of 10 years ago are the adults of today, so...
They grew up.
Oh, no.
Alright, this choke's gonna be a fantastic fight for Snute if he wants to take it off the concave. Of course, the Biles Roach is gonna possibly eat these. That Spine Crawler goes down, but it got some pretty good hits beforehand. Both players are on 1-1, but the Roaches and the Ravagers looking better for Snute. They've got more damage, they've got more range, they've got the ability to kite back. I mean, the Corsair Bile, if it hits, that's 60 extra damage right there. And even if only one hits, it's better for Snute, as he does take this fight very one-sidedly, and Tefel is going to find himself killed straight up on the attack.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that was such a good fight for Snute. Very questionable for Tefel to do that. And to go through the bridge, too.
Right, like, I don't know why more people don't just knock down the rocks. I mean,
I really thought they would. Yeah,
it just seems intuitive. But GG is going to get called, and Snute will take the series. Going to advance on to the finals where he'll fight against a Laser, which is a bit of a funny thing to see because we watched Snute 2-0 Hydra, we watched Snute 2-0 Tefel, but we're probably going to watch a Laser 3-0 Snute now. And I don't say this to be mean. I love Snute to death, but there's just something about a Laser, like this kryptonite that he can't beat. But
maybe today's the day.
Maybe today's the day. Thank you, Optimus Prime, for the 2-month resub, by the way. And reminding everybody that the first and second place prize is going to be a difference of $70 versus $20. So we put an extra $10 on that first place prize for the winner. So we'll see how it goes. First map is pre-picked. It's going to be on Ruins of Endion. So we'll go to a break, and when we return, we'll see you guys for the finals. I would like to, once again, we didn't advertise this earlier, but bring up our website. A lot of you guys might be asking what's going on, and our schedule is still being planned on the go. So my best suggestion to see what we're casting and when we're casting would be to, I'd say once every couple days, check BaseTradeTV/calendar. As once we get our DreamHack qualifier dates locked in, and once we find the ASL dates and all these other things, everything we're casting will be there on the website. But commercial break. We'll see you guys soon.